Hi, I'm Alicia Cole from Padme's Playhouse Quilting, and today is all about Bargello quilts. And if you don't know what that is, I'll try and insert some pictures so you can see them. But all it is a beautiful quilt made out of just strip piecing. So this is a great beginner quilt because literally you're just sewing strips together, cutting, sewing strips together. So what you will need is you will need 2 jelly rolls. And what jelly rolls are is 2.5 inch pre-cut strips, and in each package there's 42 of them. So what I'm using today is Creative Cuts, and there's only 14 pieces in each package. So I got 6 of them. So if you get just a regular jelly roll that comes with the 42 pieces, you just need 2 of those. So what you're going to do is you're going to open up your jelly rolls and you're going to place them in whatever color pattern you want them in. So for me, I just took them out and I just kept the order that they were in. So I did the purple, and the red, and the orange, the pink, and you're just going to sew all of these together. So you're going to sew together your entire jelly roll in whatever color combination you want. So, let me get these out of the way. So I already did that with one of my jelly rolls. And this is what she ended up with. It's this big long piece of sewn together strips. So after you have this all sewn together, you're going to have 2 of these because you have 2 jelly rolls. So you're going to have 2 of these, and for each one you're going to have this big old long piece, and you're going to sew your beginning strip to your ending strip. And what that is going to give you is a tube. And this is exactly what you want. You just want a tube. But what I also want to show you about this great long strip is the way that I've pressed the seams. If you see, there's seams going out and they're in, out, in, so on and so forth. And that is because that's just going to make it so much easier for you after you cut this all up. The way that this goes together for your next set of strips is going to help the seams just nest together, and it's going to be really helpful. So make sure you do this. So I'm going to go sew together my other one. I'm going to make my tubes, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you what we have to do next. Now that we have finished our strip sets and we have sewn them into tubes, then we are just going to fold them. You don't have to fold them, it's just easier for me to fold them so I can cut them. And now we're going to start cutting. I've cleaned up my edge over here, so I have a straight edge to start with. And what we are going to do is we are going to start at 1 inch, and we're going to go all the way up to 3 inches being our biggest, and we're going to do that going in intervals of 1/4 inch. So I'll show you. My first cut is going to be 1 inch. So that's my first. My second cut is going to be 1 1/4. Sorry, I thought I messed up. Okay, 1 1/4. And then we're going to do 1 1/2. We're gonna keep doing it like this until we get up to 3 inches. And then once we hit 3 inches and we do a 3-inch cut, we are going to start going back down to 1 inch. So we're gonna do the 3-inch, then we're gonna do 2 3/4, 2 1/2, 2 1/4, so on and so forth. And we're gonna do that until this strip is completely done. And then wherever you left off here, you're gonna start up on your next strip set. So I'm gonna go do that, and then I'm gonna show you how we open our tubes. Now that I have some of my strips cut, I wanted to show you how to open your tubes to get the strips that you're going to sew next. So with our first cut, this was the 1 inch. My purple was my number 1. So what we're gonna do, you'll need a seam ripper for this, is we're going to rip out this top seam on the top of the purple, or your number 1, and then we're just gonna open it right there. So let me find a seam. I've opened my seam at the top of my number 1. That is number 1. Now for number 2, we're going to go down from 1 to 2, and we're going to open our seam at the top of number 2. And now when I put them together, you'll see how the colors are diagonal to each other, and that's what creates the look. So now I'm going to go down to number 3, open at the top of number 3. And just depending on what pattern you want, if you just lay out all of your strips while you're doing this, you'll know if you want to go up or down or a multitude of both. And you just rip the seam in the corresponding color. And then after you have it all laid out however you want it, you're just going to sew these strips together, and then you'll have your quilt top finished. So I'm going to go rip out a couple more seams, and then I'm going to show you what it actually looks like when there's more strips. Here's my first couple of strips laid out, and you can already see that there's a pattern starting to form. So this is roughly what it's going to look like. So that's my tutorial on how to make a Bargello quilt. Now you can take this tutorial and these instructions and you can make it all your own. And that's the wonderful thing about quilting. I use quite a lot of colors, but you don't have to use a lot of colors. You can use whatever you want. So if you want to see the finished project of my Bargello quilt, you can follow me on Facebook, and of course subscribe here for more tutorials. Thank you for watching. Bye guys.